In his mind, he is not Mr. Chen. He's not trying to.
Huabao. Huabao? Huabao.
Huabao?
Yeah.
They always do
Something
those
like
pretty
that,
quick.
yeah.
Huabao.
They do them pretty quick. Those always.
They got a lot of players. Got like 100 and...
I don't know.
He means in general, like
saying like
The 25K buying.
they're always like 2 days, pretty much 25Ks.
Yeah, they're
before stops
turbos.
or whatever.
Turbos.
Yeah. That's how they want them to break.
the
Ace
level
jack off from the hijack.
I think it's just 40-minute levels throughout.
Let's make
Yeah,
it 3 in a
probably
row
do.
for Mr. Chen.
1 hour level.
Is it?
Oh, really?
What'd you say?
It must be. There's 43 minutes on the clock now.
Oh, there you go. Maybe it's
Just quick. Then
Might have been 40
structures.
early. Might have been 40 early.
40 day 1, hour day 2.
Probably skip a couple of levels.
What clock are you even looking
AJ with
It's
pocket
not like-
queens.
It's not structured like this.
over-
Have a little green one on the table.
Oh, I see.
Laptop one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And for him, they could not come any sooner. He has been dwindling hard this level.
Million.
I mean,
Who about? Nice. Snap fold. Just has the inkling that AJ is a tricky player, can run some bluffs, but has been quite fitter fold pre-flop so far. This is another great table. We really had.
We've luck boxed our feature tables today.
Yeah.
Interesting hands, interesting gameplay. Nobody's too ABC. People mixing it up. And nobody seeming too timid about getting the chips in the middle.
Not whatsoever.
Yeah. Maybe tomorrow is when people start to tighten up once the final table is within reach.
Yeah.
But
Definitely once you start getting down to 18 players, 15 players, certain players will tighten up quite a bit.
oh. Spot for Volpe here.
Yeah.
Christian opening under the gun.
Kind of imagine this just goes in. He's got 32 blinds.
Besides just peel. He's gonna overcall.
33 blinds even. Yeah, peel is certainly an option, especially as we get this deep. It's just so nice to pick up the free 6.5 blinds, 7 blinds. Whenever your opponents fold.
These animals are playing 4-way flops over here.
And not have
can't
to
be on the
face
road doing
situations like this.
Yeah, he gets outflopped
man.
here by Christian. And in general is just going to find it hard to continue in a 4-way pot.
Yeah, 9's such a good hand to squeeze all in because you deny equity to so many combinations of hands that are flipping versus you but can't call the all in. The king queens, queen jack suiteds, jack 10 suiteds, all of those hands. It's so hard to play against out of position post flop with pocket 9s. Feels very likely to just check around 3 times if players remain unimproved. Everyone has just enough of it that they can hope to win a showdown. The ace changes that a little bit. Now certain hands feel not good enough to win. They might actually go for it. For instance, Stu could take a shot at this pot. He might prefer to have some kind of blocker to the board.
It's so
Nines.
tough when you're 4-way.
I beat 9s.
Absolutely.
check. For the fucking squeeze. That's right.
Hear Volpe talking about how he should have squeezed.
Online poker is back in America. No purchase necessary. Play online poker for cash prizes with players across the U.S. Sit next to your favorite ambassadors like Phil Ivey, Brad Owen, Rampage, Wolfgang, and the rest of the WPT crew. Play tournaments and ring games to win real prizes and experiences, including free entries into next-level poker events in Las Vegas. Sign up at clubwptgold.com with promo code YouTube.
That table is going to be epic.
That's
I
going to be epic.
cannot wait to watch that table.
I mean, I'm rooting for Makita to double through somebody with a lot of chips just so we get all four.
yeah. If you guys are big fans of poker, tournaments in particular,
On dinner, yeah,
make sure you stick around for this next break and this next feature table because that is going to be wild to watch.
But by the way, if you're just a fan of Chris
Oh,
Moorman,
they don't show
that stack it looked like he had 18 to 20 million over there. Let's go.
Back-to-back final tables?
Back to back.
Possibly?
Moorman.
I really don't want to jinx him, but he looks like he's well on his way. As we finish up with these players who we've had a lot of fun with as well. Here comes Christian. 3-betting the small blind with ace-9 offsuit against Glenn's open on the button. Unfortunately for him, Glenn actually has a really decent hand with ace-queen.
He's deep enough that there is real consideration here. Peeling makes a lot of sense as you keep in a number of dominated hands that you get to play in position against.
Like this one.
Yeah, this is a great situation for him now. Of course, his opponent might find a bluff down the road, and then you're a little sad that you allowed that to happen. Or he might find a 9, but if the board had come something like ace high or queen 9, you just make so much money in those situations. And most of the time they just continuation bet on some blank board, you call, and then you get the showdown, you beat the hand.
1-9.
Christian continuing for 1,000,000 chips on the 4-3 deuce spot. 4-3 deuce flop.
Glenn's gonna be going nowhere. Not only has he picked up a gut shot here, but he knows he has a number of hands dominated as well. The final piece of the puzzle of just calling pre-flop is that while Glenn probably feels like he has the best hand quite often, if he were to 4-bet and get it in, you're just going to be in a lot of trouble.
See that little stare down that Glenn just gave Christian? I feel like that's the first time we've seen Glenn really grill his opponents with a look.
I mean, this is the first time we've seen Glenn not be the guy who's bluffing.
I think this might be the first time I've seen Glenn's eyeballs. Period.
That's very fair. He's kept that brim real low.
Yeah.
Real low. Glenny low brim.
Yeah. King on the turn. Does Christian follow through? No. He gives it a check.
King of Spades feels like it might have been a nice one to continue bluffing on.
As Christian.
Yeah.
He decides to wave the white flag. At least momentarily.
This is an awkward situation for both players in the sense that Christian's just managed to have it nonstop all day, so we haven't really seen him have to run a big bluff, I don't believe. And Glenn's usually the guy running the bluff.
Yeah. Glenn has no idea what to do when he has showdown value.
Exactly. And now here's a question. Does Christian bluff? I feel like giving up here.
Little weak?
Well, you have other hands you certainly could bluff with, right? You've got some queen jack type of hands, jack 10 suited, that you might 3-bet from the small blind. However, I just don't think you ever win when you bet the flop, your opponent calls, and then they check back the turn. So it might be nice to take a shot at it, get a hand like ace queen, ace jack to fold. You would want to go fairly large, but you are representing a number of strong hands. You could still have something like pocket jacks and take this line, pocket 10. So you're still representing
Last
a
break, they
number
told
of
me they're
hands.
doing
if
one
you
more level with us up
go
here.
bet, check
Which
bet.
is obviously this level, but I don't know.
Yeah,
if
it's
we
every 2 levels you switch.
Okay.
And you really put ace queen, ace jack in a terrible spot.
So we've just got confirmation. This is our last hand before
put on quite
a
a
quick
show,
10-minute
guys.
break.
Sort of.
And then we will come back with that
I'm
brand
getting some
new
information
epic
now from
feature
him.
table that we just introduced you to from the outer tables. Chris Mormon, Brian Yoon, Alex Queen, and Makita Badziakuski.
Say, who said?
God, what a table that's
says
going to be.
you're
I
crazy.
Can't wait. Can't wait. We have run so good in feature tables today. Glenn,
Do we have confirmation, by the
Picking
way,
up-
on whether or not there's a dinner break?
I'm not sure. Raising to 300 from the cutoff. Christian with a pocket pair on the button. Only fitting that these two would be involved in one of the last hands.
The last time Christian had pocket twos versus Glenn.
Did not go well for Glenn.
No, it didn't.
Huabao Chen. Mr. Chen, it's been a pleasure.
I'm going to miss Mr. Chen. If they could move Mr. Chen over to the next feature
These
table,
last few hands have gone your
that'd be
way.
ticking a lot of boxes in appeasing old Jesse over here.
10-7-4 Rainbow, no club in sight.
You know, the floor people who move these tables around really don't think about what I want nearly enough.
How far down on the list do you think you are in their minds? Do you think you exist on the list at all?
I
for
thought I was
them?
like third or fourth. Starting to think I might be eighth. It really hurts.
Check, check on the flop. 10 of spades comes out on the turn. This feels like a matter of who wants it.
Yeah, at some point, Christian realizes he just has the best hand here, right? This feels a lot like Glenn has something like ace-jack or ace-queen.
Mm-hmm.
Something with a little more showdown value. King-jack, of course, makes some sense. It's just usually gets c-bet or delay c-bet.
Hefty bet on the turn by Christian, 800K into 975. Glenn. With
Whoa.
plans for the river.
This is something else, man.
Queen of spades. Great card to tell some sort of story for Glenn.
Kind of
That
a
he
weird
flowed-
story that you'd be telling, though.
Yeah, because if he did have some draws that picked up on the turn, wouldn't he just lead them himself?
I mean, if he has something like ace-jack of spades, he might play it this way, but there's just so few combos, you don't really want to develop a leading range on the river. On the other hand, once the queen comes off, you're pretty certain your king-jack high is not good.
Wasn't my tournament.
Someone else's now.
You know, when you were talking about the delirium setting, and I was thinking how I'm not delirious at all, and then I immediately said bunt instead of Bach, and I'm starting to feel a little bit like
I'll
you might
bring
have
it
been
out
right.
of you. I'll bring the delirium out of you.
I
Starting.
blame you for that one, ultimately.
Mormon opening up the deuces in the hijack. This is a guy who will play a $10 tournament with as much intensity as he will a 10K.
If
At
one
a
of his
party.
friends
At a
is
party.
at the final table of a $10 tournament, he won't even play it. He'll rail that tournament.
Oh my God, he's such...
Nobody loves it more than Chris
No,
Mormon.
no. Joshua on the button with ace-queen offsuit.
Call.
And a sweet take on the button
Call.
bucket hat.
I didn't mean to take a time bay.
Oi.
Wow. Chang from the small blind decides this is his moment.
Double up.
You know, if Chris were to decide Joshua's quite capped feeling the button and puts in a small re-raise, this gets very awkward.
For Joshua.
Oh.
Well, Joshua could find a
But he's
jam
doing
over
a
it.
string, right?
Yeah, Chris just lets it go. I could see a world where Chris decides to
Fair
ISO
fight.
with his weakest holdings, or close to his weakest holdings. And then Joshua has a somewhat under-repped hand in that situation.
Check, check, check.
That's very greedy.
Joshua not calling immediately. Little surprising here. He's
This
getting a
queen's hand, I can
fantastic
take
price,
that.
and he has a hand that's just ahead a lot.
Did he get the official count? Oh, I think he's in there. His cards are on his
Oh,
back.
okay. Okay, that makes more sense. We
Welcome
just have
back,
a delay.
Justice.
Welcome back.
No, it didn't say he called in the graphic.
Oh.
I don't know. Did you see my last one?
Ah!
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
that's
what I'm saying.
not a great card for Chang.
That one was way worse. Let's not get carried away.
I wouldn't say anything yet.
Go get it.
Again.
Again.
Good game to Chang.
Tough run out for Chang.
Chang Lu. Taking 29th place.
Online poker is back in America. No purchase necessary. Play online poker for cash prizes with players across the U.S. Sit next to your favorite ambassadors like Phil Ivey, Brad Owen, Rampage, Wolfgang, and the rest of the WPT crew. Play tournaments and ring games to win real prizes and experiences, including free entries into next-level poker events in Las Vegas. Sign up at clubwptgold.com with promo code YouTube.
Yeah,
no,
he got
it does.
I thought it's because he
Well,
got
that's
rivered.
actually-
They get Mr. Chen over here, but
I thought he was just
a lot of
like,
dreams
no,
coming
this is
true
shit.
at once
Yeah.
for old Jesse.
So committed, he's got a shirt.
Alex Queen with the old ace queen.
Wow. Speaking of dreams coming true,
He's got slightly less than 6 million to start the hand. Joshua looking down at the same hand on the button. This is Joshua Lisberger from Maryland, as you can tell.
I think that's my alarm to register the tournament.
That's why I didn't put it in the locker.
According to his Hendon mob, he's got
Register what? You were showing you were busting this, or you were
$12,000
trying to back
total
something else?
I was trying to play
in
something
live
else
earnings.
and-
wow.
That's the alarm. It's not going to stop, right?
He's
that might
he's
be
a couple eliminations away from 10xing that number
He-
at minimum.
Right. No, he's
And he's
guaranteed
starting-
121K right now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're right. He's already 10x.
Yeah. So this is an incredible run for him.
Let's go, Joshua.
Today deuce flop, Alex decides to check it over to Joshua.
Advantage Joshua with the backdoor flush draw and position. Could easily still result in players chopping at showdown, but
Yeah, with the action.
Yeah, this is boring shit, right?
this is starting to look more and more like we're headed toward showdown.
How you're finding the energy to care about this is amazing.
Oh no. Queen firing in a little bet here.
Day one's all over. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe for you it's like an 8 at this point. But
No, of course.
Call.
Both players probably pretty happy to see that river.
For sure. And now you have to imagine both players check it down. Seems too thin to go for value.
Yep.
Again with
There
ace
it
queen.
is.
Chop it up.
Again with ace queen.
Yeah, as you were saying earlier, Queen having an amazing year
No,
so
I actually
far.
threw those over there by accident.
If you're just tuning in, I'm Jesse Sylvia. Next to me is Ashley Sleeth.
I think you told them that like maybe 10 minutes ago.
Well, the chat's been asking.
Oh, hello. Hello, chat. Edward looking
My-
down at ace queen off. Under the gun one. He's got a very healthy stack in front of him. Over 12 million. Serhiy, a new player for us. Looks like he's from Kiev, Ukraine. Quite the trip.
Quite the dark thoughts he's having with the
Wait.
6-deuce offsuit in
Yeah.
the tank.
Absolutely.
That was from the hijack, maybe the low jack even?
Not sure what that was about.
Nikita, this might just be not quite enough hands. Yeah. Kicks it in. Can't blame him. Have to imagine the king-queen is getting in there in some capacity. Mikhailo as well. Mikhailo. Giving it some serious thought with the 9-4 suited. Perhaps just having a little moment under the lights. Taking it all in.
Perhaps a little bit of stalling for the pay jump.
I thought the next pay jump was at 18 or something.
No, 23. So these
okay.
players are all guaranteed 121,000. 23rd place gets 146,000.
Suddenly, a lot of things are making sense.
Right.
Glenn flopping the best of it here. As we get closer to the final table, big blind ranges, defending ranges from the big blind should tighten up a bit.
Okay.
And so flops like 10-8-7, which already were hitting the big blind a decent bit, start to hit the big blind a lot more because you start to discount all of these 4-5 offsuit, 5-deuce suited type of hands that were previously peeling. And so they're more centered around the exact type of cards that we're seeing on this flop.
So if you're Edward, would you have liked to see a check from him here?
Yeah, you could certainly be a bit more careful. You also might see some leads from Glenn, maybe not on 10-8-7, but on something like 9-7-6. You might see some leads.
Well, that's a turn.
Wow. Have to imagine Edward shuts it down here. He still has a hand that has a tiny bit of showdown value. He has no diamond in his hand, which you'd like to have if you decide to keep bluffing. Yeah, good choice by him. It just keeps getting better for old Glenn.
Glenn the Irishman.
He has been a lot of fun to watch play today.
Yes. Well known in the UK circuit.
He's exhibited more creative and aggressive lines than anyone else we've seen. We've had some real superstars at the table. Yeah, hard to imagine Edward finds a call here.
Yeah.
Can't beat a pair. Flush draw got there. Straight draw got there. He might not even beat all of the bluffs his opponent would show up with.